Okay, Big Time Cheer hair for season 2016-2017. Okay, so the hair will be a braid across the top with a high ponytail. Okay. To start, you want to section off the hair so it's just a small bit at the top front of the athlete's head. So you want to come up at one side of the temple, straight across, and then come up on the opposite temple, straight back to where you sectioned off the other side of the hair. Make sure you separate everything out so that you have a clean edge. You should have some hair hanging down on both sides. You shouldn't be pulling the hair all the way to the ear on either side. When you have that sectioned off, grab the rest of the hair and pull it back into a ponytail and out of the way. That way when you go to do the braid, you'll only take the hair that you mean to. Once you have it like that, you'll want to put some hairspray on it and pull all of the small little fine baby hairs in with the rest of the hair so that you end up with a sleek look and all the hair in the same direction rather than the fuzzies sticking up. Okay. Once you have that done, you'll start your braid. Take a small section from next to the part and start braiding across. You want your braid to fall in the middle of the space that you've sectioned off, and you want to keep small bits so that you have a defined braid as you come across. So you just do like a normal braid, picking up small pieces from each side as you come across. Make sure you're smoothing the hair as you go so that the braid is nice and clean. Once you're about 3/4 of the way across the front of the athlete's head, you'll want to start to angle the braid backwards so that when you pull the braid up into the ponytail, it's not coming at a right angle because that will leave you with a bump on the side of their head. So about here, you're going to want to start moving your braid out of the center and pulling it backward and up, so that it will come around the corner a little more smoothly and be a little easier to get up into the pony. Okay, once you hit the end of your sectioned off hair, just continue the braid down You want to come a decent distance down so that the braid can remain intact as it goes into the ponytail. It's always better to go farther down than you need than to cut it short. And just grab a hair tie and throw it at the end of that braid. Okay. from there, you can take down the back ponytail. Okay, I'm going to turn you sideways. Okay, at this point you can just kind of pull this braid out of the way. You don't need to mess with it at this point. The best way to get the hair up smoothly and make sure it lasts through tumbling is to section off your ponytails. So what you're going to do is take just the front half of the hair from behind the ears on both sides straight up. And this is going to be your first ponytail. You want to pull the hair up. Again, spray the sides. Smooth the hair and pull in all of the little flyaways. The more hairspray, the better. You're trying to make sure this lasts through a lot of activity, so you can't really do too much hairspray. Once you have that pony up on the top of their head, just bring your braided piece right in with it and make sure that you're centering this ponytail in the middle. Okay, at that point you can go ahead and take out the hair tie that's at the little end of the braid and take the braid out from the ponytail. If your athlete has a bob and can't get the back of their hair up, you would go ahead and leave it like this and just attach the bow at this point. But as long as they have a longer hair, we'll just continue forward. Okay, you can do the back part in one of two ways. If you're concerned about your athlete's hair being shorter in the back, you can either braid it up the back or make another ponytail in the back here. That way you can bring it back a little and it will hold the hair a little tighter. So comb their hair up the back of their head. Make sure you get all of the bumps out as you go. Spray the hair. Smooth all the fuzzy hairs up. Okay, so if you're concerned about them having shorter hair in the back and it not staying in your ponytail, I would take the hair that you have here and make it its own separate ponytail. That way it can come down a little bit farther on the head and it has a better shot of grabbing those hairs and pulling them in. Make sure you give it a good spray so everything stays tight. Okay, so at this point, we have two ponies up on top of the head and we want to join them together. So you're just going to grab both ponies and pull them together and wrap them with hair ties. Usually I do 2 hair ties at this point. The reason being that it gives a sturdier base for your bow to hook to. And if your bow has a sturdier base to hook to, it will stand straight up instead of sliding back down the athlete's head. Okay. Okay, so I know one of the biggest problems when you hook your bow on is that the bow will slide backwards off of the head. Instead of staying sitting upright, it will start to travel and turn this way so that the bow is laying more flat along the head instead of standing straight up. The best way to get rid of that is in how you hook the bow on the head. If you use your hair tie, it's pretty much always going to slide off. What I recommend doing is taking a zip tie that you can get at Home Depot, Aco, anywhere. They're just called cable ties. They come in black so they'll blend into the bow. And all you want to do is feed the cable tie through the lowest spot on the bow where the fabric folds. So you'll take that fold and just slide the end of the cable tie inside and push it through until it comes out the other side. That way you can use this to hook it around their ponytail instead of just the ponytail holder. If you're going to leave your ponytail holder on, go ahead and wrap it once or twice around the ponytail. It's not going to be there to hold it in, but we don't want it dangling at the back either. Once you have that done, push your bow flat to the athlete's head, as low as you can get it. Grab the end of your cable tie and feed it through one of the elastics that are holding the ponytail in, so that it comes out the other side. That way if it starts to slide, it won't be able to get anywhere because the whole set of hair ties is holding it in. Once you have that done, feed it through the loop on the cable tie so it ratchets once or twice. You don't want it tight yet. There's still lots of room in it. Once you have it slightly hooked, try to get the edge of the bow underneath the hair tie and flat on the athlete's head and hold on to it right where you want it. Then grab the one end of your cable tie and ratchet it tight around the ponytails. Once you have it in tight, give it a good pull so that it's securely locked in. And then take either a scissors or a wire cutter and just snip the end of that cable tie out of the way. That way the bow sits up nice and straight into the ponytail. Okay. At this point you can go ahead and back comb the ponytail. And it doesn't matter how much hair you have, you can make the ponytail look full as long as you back comb it enough. For this part, you're going to want probably an aerosol hairspray. Any kind will work. You just want something that will dry quickly and not wet the hair. If you wet the ponytail as you're back combing it, it will just kind of start to fall down instead of sitting up and getting volume. So you're going to want to work in small sections at a time. You'll just take a small bit of hair, spray it top and bottom at the roots, give it a second to start to set, and then take your teasing comb, back comb the hair at the bottom, again at the top, and then separate it so that it fills in the space. Take another section, spray it at the roots, give it a second to start to dry, and then back comb. Take your time and go slow, taking little sections at a time, and just keep working. You want to back comb as close into the ponytail as you can because you want your volume to come from the center. So don't build the snarl all the way up along the hair. Keep it down into the base. So just keep spreading the hair and filling in the spots so that the poof is from side of the bow to side of the bow. That way it fills in all of your space, makes their hair look really full. You don't need to get a hairpiece or anything because the hair will fill in all the space. The smaller the pieces that you have, the bigger the ponytail ends up at the end. Okay, once you get to the end of ratting all of the hair, obviously you don't want to leave the top edge looking snarled and crazy. So you just want to take your brush and you don't want to dig in and comb it. You're just trying to skim over the top of the hair and smooth the top edge while leaving all of the lift and all of the teasing underneath. That way you keep the look of the height but not the ratting. And you want to make sure you use your heavy hold hairspray to lock everything in and down where you want it so that when they tumble it doesn't come undone. When you spray the back, lift the hair so that it doesn't weigh down and you get the under edge. Okay. So that's where it ends up. Your goal is to get your poof to be as high as or higher than the bow, so that it also gives the bow the support of sitting straight forward. With this much hair behind it, the bow is not going to slide backward.